Well, this is a blog basically, as I was talking about in a blog basically about Lily Lule. This is basically talking about music. I'd like to post a question, or I don't know how easy this would be, but post a question to all you out there if you are watching this, and particularly people who subscribe to my videos and the people who I know and have messaged on here. But I'd like to have some questions about what is your all-time favourite band? What is your maybe favourite singers? But what music do you really like? I'd like to know that in terms of favourite band, and particularly, do you have a favourite British band? Because anybody who gets to know me, and if I openly say this to them, they will know that I know this might be biased, but coming from Britain, I love British music. I basically really love the music that comes from this country. We have produced some of the greatest bands in the world. I mean, literally, it's like a who's who of music. I mean, I'm sure the Americans might say, yeah, but we've got Elvis, we've got Madonna, we've got, I don't know, Prince or whoever. But, yeah, maybe you have, but when it comes to the successful of history, I mean, there's no contest with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and Queen and Elton John and people who probably would come up and you know, people who like the top 10 would be like would have these in. You know, Madonna and Elvis might be two at least that would go into any top 10 of like, you know, successful acts. But when you put something like Cliff Richard in there and Queen and Rolling Stones and Beatles, it's like we've got the majority of music that has obviously done that. I'm sure the American Michael Jackson for America as well. But again, and I'm posing the question, as I said, what is your favourite band, and obviously of all time, and particularly, you know, or even if it's an artist. I mean, you don't have to necessarily be a band. It could be an artist, and again, British. Do you have a favourite British artist band? Because I'd like to know what they are, and hopefully you will tell me in some way, whether you send me a comment or a message. But I'd like to know, because I'd like to comment and basically say what I think, because I like to know what other people's favourites are, and I kind of like to think, well, I'm gonna mark them out of 10, because if I really like the band, I'll be thinking, do you know what, you have good taste, or do you have bad taste? I don't know. It depends on what you basically have. If you do have a favourite music artist and band, uh, I'm going to share mine. I don't really sometimes have a favourite band of all time, because I have so many bands that I like a lot of. But my favourite band of all time would be Runrig. And in case you don't know who they are, they're basically a Scottish folk rock band formed way back in the early 70s, but didn't actually make their recording debut until 1978 with Runrig Play Gaelic. At the time, Blair Douglas was in the band, Donny Munro, Rory MacDonald, Callum MacDonald, and so on. But they were at the peak of around 1986 to 1996, which is roughly 2 years. They were the biggest band in Scotland, literally. Not maybe in terms of having big chart hits, because I'm sure people like Wet 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 and obviously other bands were scoring number one, but Runrig were actually outselling all their concerts, and basically the lineup of Donny Munro, Callum MacDonald, Rory MacDonald, Ian Byrne, Pete Wishart, Malcolm Jones was the ultimate lineup of any Runrig. I mean, literally, they recorded on all the biggest albums of Runrig's career. They recorded on the biggest songs of Runrig's career, which were things like Loch Lomond, Flowers of the West, The Greatest Flame, and a Gaelic song that I can't pronounce because they sing a lot of songs in Gaelic. They did the albums like Amazing Things, The Big Wheel, and Once in a Lifetime, and things like that, which are just fantastic albums, and they sold like a good few million copies. So and that, and basically they were the first band to appear on top of the, well, not the first band to appear on Top of the Pops, no, but the first band to have a Gaelic top 20 hit. They have appeared on Top of the Pops, mind you, a number of times, a good 2 or 3 times on Top of the Pops, which is like great. They are actually the Big Wheel tour, the tour they did for the at the time, Wheel Emotion tour from 1991. They actually sold the biggest and fastest selling concert in the history of Scottish history. Now that is like, thinking of the time, you think the Rolling Stones, Beatles, Rod Stewart, and all these stars that have obviously been sold, and they can't even match what Runrig were selling in terms of tickets and stuff, you know. And sadly in 1996, Don Munro left the band. They did a farewell concert in Stirling and so on. He left because he wanted to go into politics. He didn't make it, so he went back to become a solo artist. And oh god, my mind's gone blank. Bruce Guthrie from Canada stepped in and became their new lead singer. So since 1997, they've pretty much had him as lead singer. Ian Byrne is still there, and Malcolm Jones, Rory and Callum MacDonald are still there, but sadly there is no Pete Wishart, and there is no oh god, my mind has gone blank again. It always goes blank when I'm thinking of the names of members that are not even in the band. No, Pete Wishart and I think it's Ian. Is it Ian Byrne? No, I think he's still there. My mind has gone blank. Anyway, but there you go. So they are my favourite band. If it had to be in terms of, say, popular band, that would be more of a popular music type of artist and band, I would probably say it's between Kylie Minogue and the Kaiser Chiefs and Bon Jovi, people like that. I would more likely say. Shaky Stevens, yes, but he's my music hero. That's another story in itself. But they are probably my favourite 3, roughly, and Savage Garden. So they're probably my roughly 4 that would be like sort of my favourites of basically away from Runrig, who are obviously my favourite band of all time. So yeah, I'd like to know what your favourite band or artist is of all time. If you will post a video response to it, and if you have a favourite British act that you like, then let me know, especially if you come from America or somewhere else that's not necessarily a British country. So, there'll be more blogs coming soon. Bye for now.